Many of you have emailed us requesting we continue to discuss the Madeline Soto case. For those new to the case, we do have a few episodes now, 2 evidence episodes. We recommend you starting there, as well as Dr. John Matthias's initial thoughts on this case. As I've continued to delve further, a lot has been released since that initial episode, and it has been difficult to the point where I've actually stopped several times, not sure if I want to be able to continue researching and investigating this case. But I want to be able to be a voice for Madeline as I continue to look at the details of the police docs. The one thing that is certain is that nobody stood up for Madeline. And so in this episode, we are going to cover a lot of those details, and they are hard. I'm going to read verbatim from several different police reports. So, this video is a summary of the evidence and our research that we are going to discuss very soon with Dr. John. And it is a lot. Madeline Soto is a 13-year-old girl from Florida who was reported missing by her mother on February 26th, 2024, after Madeline didn't show up to school when her mom went to pick her up. She learned this. Tragically, her body was discovered on March 1st in a wooded area, and she had been murdered. The last person confirmed to have seen Madeline before her disappearance was 37-year-old Stephan Stearns, Madeline's mother's boyfriend. He actually told police that he took Madeline to school that day, but again, Madeline never made it to school. Through the investigation, law enforcement learned and discovered that Stephan actually never did take Madeline to school that morning. Surveillance footage from that morning when Stephan says he was taking Madeline to school shows Stephan and Madeline in the car, but she is slumped over, leading detectives to believe that Madeline was already deceased. Stephan was also captured on surveillance video that morning, throwing items into the apartment complex dumpster, including Madeline's backpack and her school laptop. During the investigation into Madeline's disappearance, law enforcement discovered horrifying material on Stephan Stearns' phone, images depicting Stephan sexually Madeline. And now, at the time of this recording, Stephan Stearns is charged with over 60 crimes and the first-degree murder of Madeline, and he is facing the death penalty. We're going to go over what's been revealed through hundreds of pages of court documents released by various law enforcement agencies, specifically focusing on Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, her interviews and statements. And again, if you haven't listened to our podcast episodes or our YouTube video going over Jen's first 2 police interviews, as well as Stephan's police interviews, we recommend you start there, as well as the initial assessment by Dr. John Matthias. The links to those episodes are in the description of this video. And while Stephan has been charged in Madeline's disappearance, in her murder, and been charged with her mother, Jennifer Soto, has not been charged with anything at this time. And as a warning, again, clearly some of the evidence that I'm about to discuss and read verbatim from police docs is difficult, and they're difficult for us too, so please be aware. Let's start by going over some of the documents from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And because these are facts and evidence taken directly from police docs, I'm going to make sure to read so I get the facts accurate. On February 28th, 2 days after Madeline was reported missing, Jennifer Soto and Stephan Stearns arrived at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and they were interviewed separately. Jennifer was interviewed by a detective with the Orange County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit and the Orange County Sheriff's Office Crime Unit, 2 separate detectives. And during the interview at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, Jennifer said that on a rare occasion, Madeline and Stephan slept in the same bed. And rare, I say in quotes, that is from Jennifer. According to Jennifer, the reason this is so was that so she could get some sleep because sometimes all 3 of them slept in the same bed. According to the Orange County Sheriff's Office incident reports, quote, Jennifer also confirmed that she and Stephan had been intimate. She was then presented with various images that were recovered from Stephan's cell phone. The first image was a hand placed intimately on a white female. After viewing the image, Jennifer identified this hand as belonging to Stephan. The detective then presented Jennifer with another image of a male's genitals. And again, Jennifer viewed this image and identified it as belonging to Stephan, end quote. The supplemental report also includes a tip that came into law enforcement on February 29th. According to court documents, a woman who we'll refer to by her initials MA, this person, MA, called the Orange County Sheriff's Office and reported that she had information in regards to this investigation. Detectives went to her house to speak to her. MA reports that she came to know Stephan Stearns through working with him at Disney. She explained the relationship became intimate around December of 2022 and ended in May of 2023. MA stated Stephan Stearns told her he still slept at Jennifer Soto's residence and specifically in the bed with Madeline. MA said Stephan Stearns justified this behavior by saying he needed to cuddle with her so Madeline could fall asleep. MA further recalled a conversation she had with Stephan Stearns where he told her that he woke up in the bed with Madeline and was aroused and had to turn around in the bed. MA felt the comments Stephan Stearns made to her about sleeping with Madeline were inappropriate, and she stopped talking to him shortly after they were made. Going further on MA's statements to law enforcement, in a report from the Kissimmee Police Department by Detective Smallwood, it states, quote, on February 29th, 2024, we responded to a residence and met with MA for an interview. MA provided a sworn verbal statement summarized as follows. MA saw a Facebook post regarding the disappearance of Madeline and recognized Jennifer in the post. MA knew of Jennifer because she dated Stephan in the past. The next morning, a friend from MA's job advised her there was an arrest involving the investigation and that the person was Stephan Stearns. MA explained she dated Stephan in the past and contacted the Orange County Sheriff's Office to provide any information that may help in the investigation. In 2022, MA and Stephan were in a brief, intimate relationship. During that relationship, MA would invite Stephan to spend the night with her at her house, but Stephan would refuse. Stephan told MA that he needed to stay at Jennifer's house because Jennifer and Madeline could not sleep without him there. He further explained, specifically, Madeline would not sleep if he wasn't there and advised he would sleep in the bed with Jennifer and Madeline. MA displayed her discomfort with the sleeping situations, but Stephan continued to live and stay with Jennifer and Madeline. MA ended the relationship not long after finding out this information. I asked MA about their intimate relationship more in depth. She disclosed that Stephan had a tough time having an erection, mainly described one, quote, very weird occasion where Stephan had her lay face down completely flat, as if she was dead, and had intercourse with her. MA said that was the only time he was ever very erect. I asked MA if Stephan ever disclosed being sexual with Madeline, but he never did, end quote. Now, going back to the Orange County Sheriff's incident report, let's go back to that for a second. A supplemental report details an interview that Jennifer had with a detective, Kevin O'Malley. Quote, on Friday, March 1st, 2024, and let me insert, this is the day that Madeline's body was discovered. So, quote, on Friday, March 1st, 2024, Jennifer Soto came to the Orange County Sheriff's Office and agreed to be interviewed again in regards to this case. I asked Jennifer to go over the timeline of events of the past week and told her that I wanted to start from Sunday and move through the next week. Jennifer started telling me about their day and evening on Sunday, February 25th, 2024. And I'm going to insert here really quickly. This would be the day before Madeline was reported missing. I'll continue now. Quote, their family was having a birthday celebration for Madeline, but Jennifer could not attend because she had just started a new job. Stephan Stearns came to the birthday celebration and brought Madeline back to their residence after the celebration. When Jennifer arrived back home around 10:30, Madeline and Stephan were both awake. And Madeline was getting ready for bed and doing her nighttime routine. Around 11 p.m., Jennifer told them, Madeline and Stephan, that they needed to go to bed. And she advised they, Madeline and Stephan, went to bed upstairs together, and she stayed downstairs in her own bedroom. She remembered that sometime through that evening, Stephan woke up to use the restroom downstairs and then returned upstairs where he was sleeping with Madeline. Jennifer said on the morning of Monday, February 26th, 2024, she was awoken by Stephan coming into her bedroom to get the dog, to walk the dog. She never got out of bed or left the room. She told me she heard noise in the kitchen and originally assumed it was Madeline getting ready for school, but admitted it could have been anyone inside the residence and was not aware whether or not the noise she heard was in fact Madeline. Jennifer told us she did not wake up and leave the bedroom until approximately 9 a.m. on Monday, February 26th, 2024. She left and went to a doctor's appointment and did not return home until 11 or 11:15 a.m. When she did return home, Stephan was back at the residence. He told her he accidentally left his cell phone at the residence when he left that morning to bring Madeline to school, but said that everything went well and described the morning, detailing that Madeline got up early, got ready quickly, and then he told her that Madeline slept, quote, slept the whole way to school. He detailed that he offered her McDonald's multiple times, which was the original plan for breakfast, but that she said no. He also told her he had gone to the vape shop, in quotes, but they were closed. The two hung out at the residence alone, and Jennifer said Stephan was sitting at their computer chair and started talking about updating his phone. While sitting there, he told her that he had just accidentally factory reset his cell phone. Yeah, I do that on accident too. Sorry, I'll just keep reading. Quote, soon after, Stephan told her that he was planning on going out and shopping at a few, quote, gaming shops, and then would return home to go pick up Madeline from school with Jennifer. Jennifer said she stayed at the residence until approximately 2:30 p.m., and Stephan had not returned home. She said she tried calling him, but he did not get an answer. Approximately 10 minutes after she had left to pick up Madeline from school, and you know what? Just so you guys know, pick up Madeline's redacted, but I am filling this in. 10 minutes after she had left to go pick up Madeline from school, Stephan called her and advised he was sorry, but that again he had left his phone at home. Stephan told Jennifer Soto that while he was gone, he got a flat tire, in quotes, somewhere on I-92 or 192, and described that the tire was shredded and fell apart. Okay. Jennifer then went to school to pick up Madeline, but she was not at school, and she eventually figured out that she never went to school on February 26th, 2024. After reaching out to friends and family, Jennifer notified law enforcement that Madeline was missing. She then called Stephan and verified that he dropped her off for school on that date. He said he did, and after law enforcement arrived, Jennifer and Stephan returned to her residence in separate vehicles. As the night started winding down, Stephan told her he was going to go out and cruise and look for Madeline. Jennifer confirmed that Stephan took her 2022 Nissan Sentra to go look for Madeline and said that he drove up and down 192. He did not tell her the exact location of where he searched, but admitted in the morning that he took her car. The following day, February 27th, 2024, Jennifer said Stephan slept most of the day while she woke up and called various resources to try to help find Madeline. Later in the day, Jennifer said reporters came to the residence to interview them regarding Madeline's disappearance and said that Stephan was awake at the time. Jennifer described a webcam-based interview with the news station Fox 35. She described Stephan as emotional and ugly crying during the interview with Fox 35. The interview moved to Wednesday evening, which was February 28th, 2024. Orange County detectives asked Stephan for his cell phone and permission to search it. Jennifer said Stephan gave his phone to detectives, but then while in the car with her, he began to get nervous about not having his phone. At one point, while detectives were searching their residence, Stephan began using Jennifer's phone inside the car. Jennifer Soto and Stephan were trying to log into his email while using the phone. During the course of the search of their residence, Jennifer said she felt as if law enforcement was honing in on Stephan, and she felt as if they were going, quote, after the wrong suspect, end quote. So she recommended that he get a lawyer. She said they called Stephan's father and said, in quotes, I think we need to get you a lawyer, end quote. Once they realized they could not go back into the residence, Chris Stearns, Stephan Stearns' father, assisted them, Jennifer and Stephan, in getting a hotel room. And according to Jennifer, she began getting ready for bed, and Stephan Stearns immediately fell asleep in one of the beds and was asleep by the time she had come out of the bathroom to go to bed. On the morning of February 28th, 2024, when she woke up, Stephan Stearns was awake and had a cup in his possession. He told her he had gone to 192, which is where he got the cup, but did not tell her that he drove to Northport, Florida, which is where his parents live. During the course of their relationship, Jennifer decided that she and Stephan were not going to work out and said that they needed their own space. Stephan moved to the upstairs bedroom of their residence in June of 2023 and lived in that bedroom on his own until December of 2023 when he moved back in with his parents. Jennifer said she and Madeline have a good and open relationship, but admitted that she tends to share more with Stephan and said that within the last week, at the time of this interview, Madeline told Stephan that she had a crush on a boy at school, which Stephan told Jennifer about. Jennifer did not know if Madeline told Stephan in person or via the phone about having a crush on a boy at school. I asked Jennifer how she felt Stephan reacted to Madeline having a crush on a boy, and she said he was excited for her and that it was super cute. We began speaking about the living situation in the residence, and it appeared common that Madeline and Stephan slept in the same bed together, even though they were not blood related or even extended family. Jennifer said that she had a rule that Madeline was not allowed to sleep in the bed with Stephan. Jennifer claims Stephan never requested to sleep in the same bed as Madeline, but she struggled to maintain focus when she answered the question. Jennifer claimed Madeline asked for sleepovers with Stephan and said she wanted to watch movies and eat snacks, and then went into talking about the three of them staying in the same bed together back in June of 2023. And she would describe that she would sleep on one side of the bed, Madeline would sleep in the middle, and Stephan would sleep on the other side. Jennifer Soto also acknowledged she eventually okayed the sleepovers between Madeline and Stephan. The interview continued in a path as to find out if Jennifer had any knowledge about the current location of Madeline's body, but Jennifer remained steadfast that she did not know where the body of Madeline was, continued to deny all involvement in regards to having knowledge of Madeline's murder, and continued to deny all knowledge of Madeline's victimization by Stephan. During portions of the interview, Jennifer continued to protect Stephan, was questioned about why she prioritized Stephan over Madeline, and even at one point referred to the sex stuff as not evil, but the murder of as evil. Evil. This is straight from police docs. The interview eventually ended, but Jennifer did not show the same level of emotion or care in regards to Madeline's ongoing victimization by Stephan Stearns than she did in Madeline's disappearance. It appears to me that she has already accepted that the victimization was happening and her emotion appears fictitious. End quote. That's a pretty shocking description by that detective. So next, we're going to go over documents again by the Kissimmee Police Department. So, and then once again, I'm still going to continue just reading these verbatim from the police docs. In one supplemental incident report by Detective Mark Morris, it states, quote, on February 26, 2024, at approximately 8 p.m., Madeline Soto, a 13-year-old, was reported missing to the Orange County Sheriff's Office by her mother, Jennifer Soto. Jennifer completed a sworn written statement to Orange County deputies to the following. Jennifer stated on 2/26, 2024, at approximately 8 a.m., that she saw Madeline getting ready for school. So a little insert for me. That's interesting that she stated that on February 26th, the day she went missing, that she saw Madeline getting ready for school. I'll continue. Jennifer stated Stephan Stearns took her to school and dropped her off close to the school. Jennifer said Stephan dropped Madeline off on Town Loop Boulevard between Town Center Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane. Jennifer said Stephan dropped her off between 8:30 and 8:45. Jennifer stated Madeline never made it to school. Jennifer went to Hunters Creek Middle School around 4 p.m. to pick Madeline up, and she never came out of the school. Jennifer stated she searched around the area and then went to her mother's office but could not locate Madeline. Now, if you are noticing inconsistencies here, you are not alone. This is coming verbatim from the reports, and that's why I am reading all of them, even if some of it feels repetitive, because there are differences between each of these reports, and I just want to point that out. In fact, in a different report, Detective Hunt says, quote, while completing interviews and after reviewing available information using investigative resources, I noticed that there were several inconsistencies in the information provided. Jennifer originally provided Deputy Joseph that she last saw Madeline on the morning of February 26, 2024, getting ready for school at approximately 8 a.m. And in my interview with her, she stated that she last saw Maddie on February 25th around 11 p.m. when she sent Stephan and Madeline to bed together. On February 28th at 3:02 p.m., Detective Hunt says, quote, I offered Jennifer a courtesy ride from the hotel that she and Stephan were staying in at the OSCO Central Operations Building. She accepted the offer and I transported her in my vehicle. During the transport, Jennifer and I had a brief conversation. While speaking, I noted that Jennifer referred to Madeline using the past tense several times when she mentioned her. I inquired about whether or not it was normal to allow Madeline and Stephan to sleep in the same room unsupervised. Jennifer replied this was not common practice. However, she did not have any suspicion that anything inappropriate would occur between the two. Jennifer said she used to be very hypervigilant around Stephan. However, as the years have gone by, she has allowed Madeline and him to be alone because they get along very well. Later on in the report, Detective Mark Morris talks about the day that the arrest warrant was written for Stephan regarding the allegations on February 28th, 2024. He says, in quotes, quote, at approximately 4:45, I contacted Jennifer in a conference room at the sheriff's office. Jennifer was asked questions about Madeline being missing and the dynamics of the household. Jennifer stated that her and Stephan had been dating on and off for approximately 7 years. Stephan had moved out of the home in the later part of 2023. Jennifer stated while they were together, they would either all sleep in the same bed or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. Okay. But when asked if it was normal for Stephan and Madeline to sleep together without her being there, she said yes. Jennifer stated that if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them to sleep in a different bedroom. I know it's upsetting to read. I'll continue. Quote, Jennifer said she ended the relationship with Stephan because he was a messy person. Jennifer said that they didn't have a sexual relationship because her medications affected her sex drive. I asked Jennifer who drives her vehicle, and she said only her and Stephan. Jennifer said Stephan took her vehicle Monday night because he decided to go drive around searching for Madeline. Orange County detectives had previously shown Jennifer photographs of Stephan's penis for identification purposes. Jennifer did not want to believe that Madeline and Stephan were engaged in sexual activity. Jennifer asked to see the image of Stephan. I pulled out a printed picture from Stephan's Google Drive that showed Madeline with Stephan. And Jennifer said she didn't recognize anything in the picture as if she was in denial. And by the way, I edited this part myself because I can't even read this. It's upsetting, but what they showed her at this moment, Jen, at this moment, was a Google Drive that showed Madeline being by Stephan. That I'll say that much. So Jennifer said she didn't recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial. However, she became visibly upset. I asked Jennifer additional questions unrelated to this particular case. I excused myself and told her that I was going to go speak with Stephan. End quote. Later on in the report, so this is continuing. Later on in the report, it mentions the same information again, but Detective Mark Morris states the following about this. So this is Detective Mark Morris now. Quote, I contacted Jennifer in a conference room at the sheriff's office. Jennifer was asked questions about Madeline being missing and the dynamics of the household. Jennifer stated her and Stephan had been dating on and off for approximately 7 years. Stephan had moved out of the home in the later part of 2023, so November to December. Jennifer stated while they were together, they would all sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. When asked if it was normal for Stephan and Madeline to sleep together without her being there, she said yes. Jennifer stated if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them to sleep in a different bedroom. Jennifer stated she was woken up the next morning by Stephan attempting to put a leash on their dog. Okay. Stephan told Jennifer to go back to bed because he would take care of walking the dog, so Jennifer went back to sleep. Jennifer stated Madeline must have gotten dressed for school in her room because her phone was left on the nightstand. Jennifer stated Stephan said he was impressed and how quickly they were able to get out of the house to go to school. Stephan told Jennifer that Madeline was asleep most of the ride to school. However, he was still able to ask her about eating at McDonald's, according to Stephan. Jennifer stated they recently ended their relationship and he moved back to Northport, Florida to stay with his parents. Then it says, quote, on February 29th, 2024, at approximately 5 p.m., we contacted Jennifer. I advised Jennifer that our crime scene technicians were there to collect additional items that were seen in Stephan's photographs. Jennifer confirmed on the morning of 2/26/2024 she was woken up by Stephan trying to put a leash on their dog. Jennifer got up and Stephan told her not to worry about it and go back to sleep. Jennifer said she doesn't remember Stephan coming back in to tell her goodbye or saying goodbye to Madeline. I asked her about writing a statement in Orange County deputies about seeing Madeline on the morning of 2/26/2024, and Jennifer stated that she wanted to believe she saw Madeline, but she actually did not see Madeline. Jennifer said Madeline picked out clothes to wear on the evening of 2/25/2024. I asked Jennifer to explain her and Stephan's sex life, which she described as vanilla, that Stephan would want to have sex with Jennifer, but she said she didn't want to. We later spoke about what medication Madeline was taking. Jennifer stated that Madeline was taking 20 milligrams of Adderall, 25 milligrams of hydroxyzine, which was a sleeping medication, and anxiety medication, and Miralax for constipation. I asked Jennifer what is her morning routine with Madeline. She said that she made sure Madeline had her school items ready while making her breakfast and lunch. Jennifer said that she made sure Madeline takes her medications before school, then she would take her to school. And Jennifer said her entire life was dedicated to Madeline. When I asked Jennifer about the sleeping arrangements, Jennifer said Madeline would sleep with her most of the time, and when Stephan was there, they would all sleep in the same bed together. Jennifer said when her and Stephan broke up, she could only think of a few times that Madeline slept with Stephan in a separate room. Jennifer said that she didn't feel comfortable with Madeline sleeping with Stephan, and it didn't look right to her. I asked Jennifer when she started feeling comfortable with it, and she said that she never was comfortable with it. I challenged Jennifer about telling them to go sleep together on February 25th, and she admitted or said it was a selfish move because she wanted a good night's sleep. On March 1st, 2024, at approximately 12 p.m., Detective Smallwood and I contacted Jennifer at her residence for a follow-up interview. I advised Jennifer that we would be taking her to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to retrieve her vehicle. I advised Jennifer that I would be taking over the investigation and there would be a press conference this day to announce it. Jennifer asked when I said that if we meant homicide. I told Jennifer we meant we as a Kissimmee Police Department, but that yes, we would be working it as a homicide because we had a strong belief that Madeline was deceased. Jennifer became silent for a few moments, and then she started to cry. Jennifer said she had been avoiding the internet because of the things being said or leaked to the media, and it was traumatizing for her. I asked Jennifer where all she had physically looked for Madeline since she had gone missing, and Jennifer said she had not looked anywhere for Madeline because she wanted to be home in case Madeline came home. Jennifer said she had since been staying at her sister's house because she did not want to be seen in public. Jennifer said she had to go out and purchase some small items, and she felt like she shouldn't be outside because of the attention this case had received. Jennifer said she didn't want to end up hospitalized for her mental health. Detective Smallwood asked Jennifer what medication she was using to help her sleep. Jennifer said the bottle said ziprasidone. Jennifer said she had taken it with food, and within 30 minutes to an hour, she was asleep. Jennifer said Madeline would take hydroxyzine for anxiety and also to help her sleep. Jennifer was asked if Stephan had attempted to reach out to her since he was arrested, and she became upset and said no, and it would be stupid if he did. Jennifer stated that we asked her about Stephan's kinks, and she said that she remembered last night that he had an. Jennifer said that she always refused Stephan when he would want with her, Jennifer also remembered that Stephan would be easily angered and very irritable and negative about things. Jennifer said Stephan would only get angry at Madeline over normal parenting things, or if Madeline didn't want to do what was asked of her. Jennifer stated that she had given Stephan the benefit of the doubt when he told her he dropped her off at school. Jennifer said Stephan is a master liar and a master manipulator, and she had recently had this conversation with Chris, Stephan's father. Jennifer assumed law enforcement was looking into Stephan because he was the last person to see Madeline, and she wanted to believe that he had nothing to do with her going missing. Jennifer said once we showed her the photographs, that is when she realized that Stephan was guilty. I asked her what she thought Stephan was guilty of, and she replied, quote, "He's been grooming and my child," end quote. I asked Jennifer if she thought Stephan killed Madeline, and she said, quote, "At this point, I do," end quote. I asked her why she thought that, and she said that we showed her a photograph of Madeline slumped over in Stephan's vehicle. Jennifer said she felt like Stephan dumped her body somewhere, but she didn't know where. I pressured Jennifer on where she thought Stephan would have dumped Madeline's body, and she kept saying that she didn't know. Jennifer became upset and said she would tell us if she knew because she wanted her child back. Detective Morris also spoke to a man Jennifer was previously married to named Stephan, not to be confused with Stephan. So now we're going to talk about Stephan, an ex-husband of Jennifer's. And in the report, it states, quote, I asked Stephan how the relationship with Jennifer was when they were together. Stephan states it was good in the beginning, but later on in the relationship, Jennifer began having mental health issues. Stephan said there were times when he would have to care for the household when Jennifer was having a bad time with her mental health. Stephan decided to remove his daughter from that atmosphere, which is when they decided to get divorced. Stephan said he considered Madeline as his daughter due to the amount of time they spent together. His daughter and Madeline would play games online once a month for a few years. Stephan would join the game just to talk to Madeline. Stephan stated he loved and cared for Madeline even though the relationship with Jennifer didn't work out. Stephan said he thought Madeline was in good hands, so he tried to become friends with Stephan since he was going to be in Madeline's life. Stephan said he visited Jennifer and Stephan when they lived in Northport, Florida. Stephan was playing games with Stephan, which ended in a small argument, and ever since the argument over board games, they haven't spoken since. Board games. Stephan would move to Colorado in 2022. Stephan would keep in contact with Madeline and would inquire how she was being treated by Stephan. I asked Stephan to explain the sleeping arrangements when he was living with Jennifer. Stephan said Madeline would sleep with Jennifer, but he was not comfortable with Madeline sleeping with them in the same bed. I asked Stephan if he had seen any demeanor changes in Madeline. Stephan said Madeline seemed off for the last few years, which he thought it could have been Madeline going through puberty, but it started during the end of elementary school, her being off. Stephan said Jennifer wasn't different, but that she was always trying to figure out her mental health medications. Jennifer recently disclosed to Stephan where a recent medication that she had been taking knocks her out, quote, meaning tired and sleeping. I asked Stephan how he heard about Madeline, and he stated that his wife saw something online. I assume that Madeline being missing. Stephan talked with Jennifer on 2/27/2024, when Jennifer stated Stephan took Madeline to school and made a bunch of mistakes afterwards, like deleting his phone. Jennifer also stated that Stephan and Madeline both forgot their phones when he took her to school. Stephan said that he believed Madeline forgot her phone, but thought it was odd that Stephan forgot his phone because he always had his phone and was typing on it all of the time. Stephan said he wanted to make sure they spoke with Jennifer over the phone because he wanted to hear her voice. Stephan described Jennifer's tone as being anxious if something was wrong. Stephan said they were speaking over speakerphone and Stephan was with Jennifer. Stephan made the comment that he felt guilty because he forgot his phone and then he accidentally reset it. Stephan couldn't believe that Stephan was saying this over the phone. Jennifer began saying what time she thought she woke up because of the dog, and Stephan interjected and told her that he would take care of the dog so she could rest. I asked Stephan if he knew why Jennifer didn't go to Madeline's birthday party. Stephen said Jennifer's family can be a lot to handle sometimes, and she was starting a new job. He understood why she wasn't there. I asked Stephen if he thought Jennifer had anything to do with Madeline, and he said he doesn't feel like she would deliberately known. And so I read that twice, and I know that doesn't make sense, but that is verbatim from the police report because she had family that could have helped her with the situation. End quote. The Kissimmee Police Department also discusses how Madeline was found. So here we go to prepare you. Detective Mark Morris says, quote, Captain Lori Mignone and Sergeant Charisse Swan responded to the area that Thomas identified. Sergeant Swan knew the property owner who provided access to the locked gates of the property. Captain Mignone walked towards a row of bamboo trees to the left of the open gate. She located a small body wearing blue jeans and a green sweater. The body had dried grass and hay on top of the body. It was decided by the sheriff's office forensics unit that they would process the scene. I asked to be brought to where the body was located. Forensic supervisor Emily Soto walked me to the area where the body was. Based upon the clothing description seen on several videos, the body did appear to be that of Madeline. The lock to the farm was still locked and didn't appear to be tampered with. Stephan would have had to drop Madeline's body over the barbed wire fence or where the gate was, and then move her body to the location where she was found. I contacted the medical examiner's office and asked them to respond to collect Madeline. When Madeline was removed from underneath the dry grass and hay, I immediately was able to identify her by the specific mole she had on her cheek. Madeline showed signs of decomposition to one side of her face and her hands. Madeline was wearing a green hoodie. The hoodie portion was over the top of her head, blue jeans, and white socks. The bottom of Madeline's socks were clean, which indicates that she did not walk anywhere, or the socks would have had dirt on the bottom. Madeline was transported to the medical examiner's office, where an autopsy would be performed the following day. I placed a telephone call to Jennifer to let her know that we had located Madeline and that she was deceased. Jennifer started to cry over the phone and handed the phone to her father to continue the conversation. I told him that I would be in touch with the family in the next day or two. On March 2nd, 2024, at approximately 1000 hours, Detective Smallwood and I responded to the medical examiner's office for Madeline's autopsy. The autopsy was performed by Dr. Stephan Giles. Prior to the autopsy, I examined Madeline's body when it was initially uncovered. I noticed her socks were clean on the bottom, which confirmed my observations when she was located in St. Cloud. During the autopsy, Dr. Giles expressed concern over the hyoid bone in Madeline's neck. Dr. Giles stated that the right portion of the bone was not intact, which could possibly be related to her being strangled. Dr. Giles listed the initial outcome of the autopsy as pending. Madeline's death was later officially ruled a homicide by strangulation. Again, that concludes the evidence that I want to go over today. I know that this has been difficult. And one thing we want to do on Hidden True Crime is lay out the evidence first before Dr. John comes in to explain and assess the evidence. And so that's what this is. Again, as difficult and as dark as this case is, again, there were times where I kept saying to John, and we've assessed this many times, should we keep going with Madeline's case? Should we not? It's been difficult. But we've been listening to your emails and we've been reading the documents and this is actually something that Dr. John feels really important. One thing he has done for nearly 30 years now is assess criminals, but particularly offenders. And we just feel like it is really important to continue covering this case, to share this evidence. And the next episode will be Dr. John assessing what we just read and what we just went over together and what this means, because it certainly leaves questions in my mind. And this is what we've been talking about in our house is what does it mean, to have Jen willing to let her daughter sleep with the man who ended up murdering her and her, what's happening here clearly Stephan Stearns is behind bars and where he should be facing the death penalty, but many questions still remain, like how this happened to little Madeline, and it's something that we will be discussing soon right here on Hidden True Crime.